Hey, welcome back. Bob the Vape Computer Guy. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Arctic V8 tank by HorizenTech. So this was sent to me by directvapor.com for the purposes of this review. Let's dive right down to the bench, take a look at it, and then we'll come back up and talk about it. A few interesting things to tell you about it. Okay, so here we have the Arctic V8 by HorizenTech. Similar box to most of their, at least like their Arctic Turbo and other tanks. Arctic V8. You have your scratch and sniff. Come on, focus, focus, focus. All right. Have your back. Basic information, barcode or QR code. Now on here on the sleeve, they do tell you the different versions: V1, V2, V4, V8, and that's the type of coil. Okay. And on the other side, it'll tell you what's included in the particular one you have. This one, as you can see, came with a 0.5 ohm V2 and a 0.2 ohm V4. The V2 is a Canthal and the V4 is a Clapton wire. Okay, so it tells you that on the sleeve. Here's your tank, as you can see, extra Pyrex and O-rings, some extra coil, and here is the tank itself. All right. Nothing on the bottom, pretty clean. I've cleaned it out, so it might still be a little moisture in there. You can see a little plastic from the O-ring on there. Nice feeling, feels good. It stops, it's not spinning around the entire tank. 4 O-rings, 4 Cylon air slots. And it feels nice. It feels just the right amount of firmness, so it won't move on its own, and yet easy enough to move. It's on the top. Right. This is your juice top fill. As you can see on here, it's very little threads on there. You know, just a very small area that connects in on here. So when you pop that on, it's basically one turn and it's on. All right, it's good and bad. It's nice that you don't have to play with it a lot to keep screwing it on, but it's also sometimes if this seal isn't pushed down enough, I'll show you. If you put this on, you do something like that and it's not pushed down all the way, you think you can just push it down, it gets to be a pain. You got to really push hard or go back and get this into the groove properly all the way around. You see, it keeps popping up there, it's just not in the right place. And it does get to be a bit of a pain. And then you get frustrated and then you figure, you know what, I'm just going to force this sucker together. Once you get that down, see if you push it hard, one turn, and it's on. So a little annoying, but it's not a big deal. A little wet in there. Nice threading though down here, it comes apart. All right, easy to clean. It's a one-piece unit. I haven't tried to disassemble anything in there, and I'm not going to. It's pretty easy to clean though. There's enough room to get plenty of water in there, so I haven't had any problems with that. This is the big change from the Arctic Turbo. If you remember, let's see if I have my Arctic Turbo. If you remember the Turbo, the way the Turbo worked is you had 3 separate coils, and you have to get them just right, usually with the one end of the connector facing the outside of the tank. Otherwise, if they were, I think they were like 0.2 each, or normally you'd want all 3 would bring you down to 0.2 ohms, but you could tell by your ohm resistance if you had it wrong, it means one of them wasn't making contact. Although there was fillers you could put in there, so you could only use 2. Well, the big thing they did here is now pretty much the same size coils, but they're just shoved inside of one coil. Alright, so it's one big coil, kind of like a TFV4. with four separate, I should say one coil head really, with four separate coils inside. Alright. Pretty adequate juice flow into it, one side for each coil. And as you can see here, this is the V4, which is a 0.2 ohm, 60 to 150 watts. Is their suggestion. And the other one, which is just one large clapped-in coil. Interesting looking coil, huh? Is 0.5 ohms, 50 to 70 watts. Almost looks like that could come apart. See, this one is like, looks like it's one piece. This one almost looks like it's threaded on there, like you could rebuild it. It's not coming off easily, but kind of looks like it. Maybe you could take that apart and rebuild it. If you took this, all you do is just drop it in the top part and screw on your base. Standard mouthpiece on top, so you can replace that if you want. So, pretty standard, pretty simple, easy to assemble, easy to clean, nothing special to show you, but that's the up close of it, and there you go. So this is definitely a cloud blowing tank. It comes with two coils. You got the first coil, which is the quad fed coil, and that's rated at what, 70 to 150 watts, I think it was on there, or 60 to 150 watts. That thing, you got to vape that at 85 watts or above to get a vape, a nice vape on that. Now that thing with that coil, which you saw in the up close, and I have out at the moment, that's a quad coil in there, and that thing can blow some clouds. Okay, you pump that up to 100 watts, and you could use that in a cloud comp like a dripper. On that coil, I find the taste is not as great. It's tremendous clouds coming out of that thing, but the taste, I wish it was a little better. And you do have to vape it. I'm finding 85 watts was a good point, a good spot for me. But of course, the more power, the faster you're going to go through your battery. Now, I popped in the clapped-in coil, and I got that going at 50 watts, and I'm much more impressed with that. The taste is much better, I think, on the clapped-in coil, and at 50 watts, it's doing a great job. I mean, that's 50 watts on a clapped-in coil, and the taste is good on that. Let's see if I can change that out. Oh boy, I think I just loosened the glass on there. Shouldn't have done that. So far, I've had no problems with leaking, unless you try and open the whole thing like I just did, and of course you might get leaking there. But I've had no problems with it. Now I got to see if I got a little enough juice in there that I can open it up and take out the coil without the juice going down my chimney. We'll take a chance for you guys and see what happens. Yeah, I think I was able to do it. Alright, so this is back to that quad core coil on there. And like I said, the taste isn't as great on this, and you got to use more power. But once I popped in that clapped-in coil, I was a lot happier with this tank. I had no problems with it. I wasn't unhappy with it. No leaking, easy to use, well made. But like I said, I just did have a better experience with the clapped-in coil. Let's pump this back up to 85 watts, which is what I found is a good point. It might take a few vapes to get the juice flowing on here. $85 watts on there. So that's very nice. Let's try it at 100 watts. Which I don't like vaping that high, but I'm not going to the 150. Sorry. May not look as impressive on camera. Of course, it is heating up quite a bit at 100 watts. But the taste is more subdued there, and the Clapton coil definitely is the way to go on this one. So, there you go. Yeah, no leaks, no problems, works well. It's going for about $34.99, I believe. A little juice in my hands here. But overall, it's a well-made tank. Is it my first choice? No. For the way I vape, 45 watts on a Cleto tank or something like that is more enjoyable to me. But if you like the clouds, you like high wattage, it is certainly a good choice. Let's go back down. We don't want to do this one on 100. This is rated 50 to 70, I believe. And I started at 50, and I was happy at 50, and I didn't need to change that at all. Come on. It'll help if I open up the airflow again. Beautiful. Much better taste with that Clapton coil. Very happy with that. Let's see if we can pull up a little bit on the specs here on this. All new HorizenTech V8 sub-ohm tank is simply amazing. Let's see. At the point, with this package is the 0.2 ohm V4 coil, the 0.5 ohm V2 coil. The 0.2, by the way, is the Clapton. You get replaceable Pyrex, you get the O-ring set, stainless steel construction, Pyrex glass, 4 milliliter e-liquid capacity, octuplet coil, integrated V-coil system, spiral splash-proof spitback vent. I've had zero spitback from this. I've had no problems with that. I didn't, can't really see what they're doing in there, but no problems with spitback. Anti-leak design. I don't know about that. Unless it's like the Cubis tank, as a cup. I don't know how something could be anti-leak, but I've had no problems with it. I have not had any leaking. 100% organic cotton. 40 to 150 watts depending on the coil, V-coil structure. They have 4 different coil types for it, as you saw in the up close. And this is going for $34.95 on their site, on directvapor.com. There's a logo up there somewhere. Yeah, so it's not a bad tank. It's fine. It works great. Clapton coil is certainly the way to go, in my opinion, on this, and it's a nice tank. DirectVapor.com, you may not have heard of. They're the ones who sent me this. I think they're a pretty new site, but they got some interesting things going on here. Let me pull this up here again. They have a low price guarantee. They'll match anybody else's price. They do free domestic shipping on any order, no minimums, which is really nice. That's wonderful. 15-day return policy with no restocking fee. No clone zone. They don't have any clones. Everything they have is authentic name brand stuff. There's no clones on there. American company. Customer service has been great. They also sent me one of these touch boxes, but I'm holding off on the review because it is having, right out of the box, brand new from SMY. It is having some problems with it in terms of reading the ohm resistance. And I've spoken to SMY, and they acknowledge that, so that there is something wrong with it. But anyway, back to this. It is a good tank. I can recommend it at $34.99. It's a little bit on the higher end compared to some of the ones like the Cubis and the Spire Cleto that have come out recently, but it is not unreasonable. I definitely recommend the Clapton coils. That's what's working best for me. And normally I don't like Clapton coils that much, but the Clapton coil in here is better than the standard quad or octuplet coil, as they're calling it, I think, because you get the best of both worlds. You get better taste than you do on that octuplet coil, and you get to use it at a lower power, and you still get pretty good clouds. Beautiful. I'm enjoying it on that Clapton coil a lot better. So there you go. Take a look at it. Link below to the website for VaporDirect.com, and a direct link to this tank on there. Thanks to them for sending this in, and check it out. Thanks a lot, and see you soon.